good time of day, it probably isn't. John 1 through 3, I'm John Bob, and I'm here to entertain Tao on this pretty not so fine day. And status of this day is one of the things I hope to change. Note to self, you probably should give them hope. Whoopsies, I wasn't supposed to read that. But without further ado, let's get right to the topic. No, not the video, you're already watching the video. So if you got the basic ability to read, and I have clicked on this video and it wasn't autoplay which played it, then you would know what this video is about. But I'm gonna say it anyways, because that makes me feel better about myself for some reason. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the general reaction content creators had to YouTube Rewind. So I made a 32 video playlist I made by searching up YouTube Rewind 2019 and watched every single video. Now before I show a list of creators I have gathered, must I remind you that I found those videos by YouTube search, that I wasn't picky whatsoever. And there are some creators which I didn't want to include, but did anyways, and there's others, aka half of the list, which I have never heard of. A list categorizing them will appear on the screen right now, and in which I personally categorize them into 3 groups. So first off, before I start, I want to say that down in the description I'll have all my notes on each YouTuber's comments on Rewind, so you can see it yourself. First of all, the general reaction isn't as one-sided as I thought. There are some positive reactions, and some which are not so positive, as expected by most, I think. There's actually quite a few that I liked, and had good reasons for doing so. First of all, the general reaction isn't as one-sided as I thought. There are some positive reactions, and some which are not so positive, as expected by most, I think. There's actually quite a few that I liked, and had good reasons for doing so. First, let's look at the negative aspect of Rewind, as the majority was very unhappy with it. Most people who were unhappy with it called it boring, lazy, cheap, and compared it to a Watch Mojo video. A compilation and a top 10 list. Although these 3 weren't the only things it was compared to, as some people compared it to a Matthew Santoro video and Dan TDM compared it to the Spotify rap. Before we talk about the video itself, we should probably mention how much they hyped it up, which annoyed some people, like critical, as they promised more than they gave. Let's start from the beginning. Some people brought up the fact that the starting slide came across as passive-aggressive, mean, mocking, and/or pandering. One of those people was Felix Gierberg himself, who also said that it wasn't intentional. Some people really appreciated the fact that they owned up to their mistake, but that's not the first part of the video, as the first part of the video is that rewind at the beginning, which included Ricegum, who was very happy with his inclusion and had the audacity to use the word finally. When it comes to categories in the rewind, only 2.5 of them were criticized, namely dance and gaming. The half was music, and it was very slightly criticized as it contained celebrities, but only a few people even mentioned it, and no one actually really criticized it. The reason why dance was criticized was because some people think it isn't relevant enough, but there were others who think dance was a good addition. But the other criticized genre as gaming, unlike dance though, it wasn't criticized for its addition, but the way it was added, as only the games which were played were mentioned, and not the creators, contrary to any other category. One category which was widely accepted and wasn't criticized was the creators section. Generally, the high inclusion of actual creators made some people happy, especially the fact that Shane and PewDiePie were included. Speaking of PewDiePie, one thing which annoyed some people was that they were basically shoving the fact that Thief series reached 100 million subs first. In general, most people didn't like it and said it was boring, lazy, unprepared, last-minute, cheap, garbage, simple, unoriginal, uncreative, soulless, sucks, stupid, effortless, uninteresting. Most people couldn't believe that it was the real rewind at first. Some people say that YouTube Rewind should have cringe. Some say it lacked impactful moments. One said that there isn't too much text on the screen. The fact that Etika was not in it made people disappointed and sad. Others say YouTube Rewind is doomed to fade, as it's a place for people to unleash their frustration. There's no meme or GIF material from it. It's become a meme in itself, just like YouTube Rewind, and many people say it's worse than last year's. Although some people did enjoy it, some people even dared to say that was all the way all Rewind should have been. When it comes to ratings, there are 3 people who gave it a rating. These 3 were Das Games, who gave it 6 out of 10, Charmix, who gives it 4.5 out of 10, and James Marriott, who gave it 3 out of 10, which averages to a 4.5 out of 10. Now, before I continue to conclude this video, I want to say a couple of things. Some people liked about Rewind, which I didn't mention while talking about the negatives. The stats. Some people say that YouTube listen. No talk show hosts. They showcase creators. Well done, and that is a good way to try and include them. I said a lot, but there's something which is best to just quote. So here are some good quotes. Rumi said, "We made something he did not like, not saying it was bad." He also said that they reposted other people's videos, as well as he said, "You don't know what you want until it's gone." Mimu said, "After YouTube Rewind, you're supposed to feel something, even if it's disgust." Pokemon pointed out that if you have a platform that big, you can't please everyone. Jackson's called it statistics, the movie. PewDiePie said that no one wants to be involved with Rewind now, it's become this cursed object. Philip DeFranco said that their thinking is you can't say it's not YouTube if it's literally from YouTube. Quite who defended YouTube Rewind said they were really overly concerned with their physical numbers concerning creators and videos in general, but it's kind of hard to expect otherwise when every year there's some moments which they are going to leave out, which are going to upset some relatively large groups for its not inclusion. Yup said that it feels like everyone is saying, "You guys get all the likes we get pooped on." Susie Lou, who was in Rewind, said they really focused on what we enjoyed. Tammy Bahat called it damage control Rewind. So we've reached the end of this video, but before you click off, unless you already did, I want to remind you that underneath this video in the description you'll find the notes I made and the playlist with all the videos I got my info from. And if you want to watch some videos but not all, I recommend watching Kwai's video, as it took a different take on YouTube Rewind, as he defended and made some good points. Premium Aphid, as it was short and to the point. Shashwamis, as it brought up some good point. Penguins, because it's just an overall good video. The Game Theorist, as it had a lot of good points. Jackson's and Bionic Pigs, as it was funny. Now this concludes this video. Thank you for watching, and now I said this is my first video and I'll say it again. I don't like saying this, but please like and subscribe. BIE, don't come through my chimney.